You're now tuning into
The Cover Gang.
What is going on, Cover Gang? NFL Week 16. Me and Justin, we're about to dive into all of the Christmas games. What a time. 3 weeks left in the season. Playoff aspirations, hopes all across the board. If you haven't already watched our recap video, Justin went 10-6. I went 500 as 500 can get, 7-7-2. In this one, we're going to go over, I think there's 2 Saturday games, a good amount of 1 o'clock games on Christmas Eve's on the Sunday slate. And then in our next video, we'll go over all the ones that are actually on Christmas Day and in the primetime slate on Sunday. But Justin, he'll read off each game, tell us the best you can get as of Wednesday. Right now, when we're recording, we'll tell you how much we're putting on each side and see if we agree.
All right. Let's get right into these Saturday games. If you didn't watch the recap, we also gave out our Thursday night pick. We're on the Saints, both of us at plus 4.5. That line already moved a half point down in our direction with a lot of the bets coming in on the Rams, so I feel pretty good about that one where we're sitting. All right, first up in this Saturday slate, we got the Bengals at the Steelers, the AFC grudge match, classic battle. Steelers backs against the wall. Bengals now looking like the luckiest team in the league. I like the Steelers plus 2 right here. It's classic. I tried to time, taking Tomlin on the bounce back last week. Pretty unfortunate. Colts routed them. I think I'm just going to have to go back to the well right here. Take the Steelers. I like it at a double unit. All the trends favor and back the Steelers right here as home underdogs against their division rival. Off a loss again. I just think their backs are against the wall. Tomlin might actually be on the hot seat. You kind of said that, and I was like, I don't know, but you might be right about it. He could feel some pressure, especially after what's been going on. The franchise feels a little different and doesn't feel as gritty. I like the Steelers when everybody's going to give up on them and take the Bengals right here. So double unit plus 2 for me.
Yeah, Tomlin, the Steelers organization does not fire head coaches. I think they've had 3 since like the beginning of when they started making the Super Bowl era. They've had 3 head coaches. So I don't know. Tomlin, he's going to be flirting right around 500 again. It looks like I'm with you on the Steelers plus 2 here as well. Mason Rudolph's getting the start. The fear, I'm not putting a double unit on it though. I'm only putting a single one because the fear is that Tomlin has lost the locker room. I'm sure you've seen the videos of Pickens and other receivers for Pittsburgh not blocking for that. I think they only had to get 1 yard. It was that goal to go, run and play to Najee.
Yeah,
it's just stuff like that's not what you want to see when you're trying to make a playoff push here. So Bengals, they got down early to Minnesota, rallied back. Jake Browning, he does have a array of weapons, but yeah, it's just classic spot for Tomlin to get the team up to play. AFC North battle. Everybody's going to be coming in on Cincy here, so I will take plus 2 at a regular unit.
Yeah, that's what we do always. A lot of bad press, a lot of bad vibes coming out of that Steelers team, and that's usually when you want to take them, when their back's against the wall. But yeah, I've seen that. It's unfortunate. Pickens is a great talent, but he's just
He just feels like he should get the ball every play. I mean, how many diva receivers have they went through? Like, you look at Claypool, even Juju when he was there, it was like he was all over social media or making
you can't forget
TikTok dances.
The biggest one of them all,
Antonio Brown, Le'Veon, Le'Veon Bell was a running back, but still, it's like
it's true.
I don't know. It's Tomlin. He's just a defensive coach. That's his side of the ball, and they're always hard hitting, smash mouth type of defense, but offense, they just can't get it right. But I think this is just the classic spot that you gotta fade the Bengals and their little hot streak, and you gotta buckle down and take Pittsburgh plus 2.
100%. Yeah, they were supposed to lose that game last week against the Vikings, but pulled it out. Anyways, next up in the nighttime game for Saturday, we got the Bills at the Chargers. A lot of people would probably chalk this one up as just a snooze fest because the sky looks like it's fallen in LA for this Chargers team, but there is opportunity when this happens, and we've seen it time and time again when a coach gets fired. You just play the bounce, play the rally. The Bills really have no reason to give 100,000,000% effort in this one. They might just let off the gas a little bit. I like the Chargers plus 12. Definitely not laying more than a unit, though, because it's the Chargers and it's mayhem over there. They got Easton Stick in the pocket, and yeah. Actually, did he didn't get injured, did he?
No.
Okay, yeah, it's okay. It's still Easton. Yeah, it's nothing to love about it at all. It's just playing the fade the public and playing fade what everyone thinks should happen is that the Bills blow them out, and you just have to play the number plus 12. I like Chargers plus 12. Just a regular unit though.
Yeah, I'm not with you here on that one. I'm going to take Bills to cover the 11.5 that you can get out there across most sports books. It's if Justin Herbert, they had just got rid of Brandon Staley and Justin Herbert was at the helm, I would take this probably even if it was down to under a touchdown. But yeah, this Chargers team is just waiting for next year, and the Bills, they do have something to play for. I don't think they're overlooking this team. Josh, it's playoff mode from here on out, and I think you've seen that the past 2 weeks. And the Bills defense is stout as well, so like we always say, playing in LA, it'll be a lot of Bills fans there as well. Probably just as many, maybe since the Chargers doing so bad this year, it may be majority Bills fans in that stadium. So, yeah, don't love taking this big of a favorite. It's half unit play, but I just I could see Josh Allen kind of strutting his stuff and making that AFC even more scared than they already are for the Bills to on this late run getting into the playoffs. And Chargers, they're just ready to maybe go after Jim Harbaugh. Have to spend some money this year for once on a head coach and get somebody to help Justin Herbert out.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, it's the Chargers you're fading, so I don't blame you at all. I mean, they're one of the worst teams against the spread this year, so
they're coming off more rest. So I mean, I understand the play too. Firing the coach, I understand that trend, but this and Bills look like they're rolling, but like I said, I don't think this is that Bills play good this week, and then Bills look bad this week. Bills barely lose this one. Bills crush by 30 here. Their heads down. They know they got to win out pretty much to make playoffs. They control their own destiny without a loss. So.
True. Yeah, that makes sense too. Yeah, I get that. All right. Well, we're split on this one, so let's go into the Sunday 1:00 slate now. Eastern time. We got the Lions at the Vikings. Big time division rivalry right here. Early money, early bet percentage, pretty much on the Lions, pushing the number from 3 to 3.5. I like the Vikings plus 3.5. It's a tough decision because I feel like Dan Campbell's got the Vikings heads back on straight, and they're kind of gearing up for playoff time, and they're not going to take the Vikings lightly because we know this team is good as dogs. They're good at home. But if it was at 2.5, I'd probably go Lions. And if it's 3.5, I'm going Vikings. It's that close. So at 3, it was a tougher decision, to be honest. I really wasn't sure, but I'll take 3.5. I think that's value. Vikings have done really well as underdogs, and they're pretty good at home. So we'll take the Vikings here. Regular unit.
Yeah. This initially opened up at 4.5. Sharps bought it all the way down to 3, and then some money came in on the Lions. Lions clearly the public side here, with Nick Mullins being quarterback for the Vikings. Vikings plus 3.5. It's a double unit play for me. I love this game. I love it's kind of make or break time for Minnesota. Heartbreaking loss. A little bit of extra rest against Cincinnati. They're still in the playoff picture. As of right now, I think they're sitting at the 6 or 7 seed. So, and they got to play the Lions again here in a couple weeks. So they need to take care of business at home. Plus, you're giving me the hook. I don't see it being too high of a scoring game. I think this Minnesota defense, they played 3.5 excellent quarters against that Bengals offense, and just kind of came crashing down. But yeah, with the hook here, I'll put a double unit on Vikings plus 3.5 at home.
Okay, I like it. You made me feel a little more confident after you said that. Good point mentioning that it was 4.5. It was, you're right, and it got bet down to 3. And then obviously they probably got a lot of public money coming in on the Lions -3. That was probably the most bet public team for a second for the books. But Good points on it. I like it. Tyler coming in with his first double unit. Next up in the 1 o'clock slate, we got the Commanders at the Jets.
What a game.
First off, I'm going to say it. It's a half unit kind of game. If you feel confident on either of these teams, they're two of the worst teams against the spread. Jets suck as a favorite. Commanders just suck in general as of recent. So I don't know how you can feel great about either side. The books, I feel like they're somewhat telling you to take the Jets. It feels like Washington's kind of a public dog or obvious choice. Last week, we were on them against the Rams. That was another bad beat. I said they were 5-1 against the spread as away underdogs. Now they're 5-2. It sucks because it's like, right as I open the app, I'm telling you, I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll take Commanders, but that just usually is a bad sign. So I'll take Jets -3, unit and a half. I mean, at a half unit. Let me clarify, not a unit and a half. Never on these two teams.
Yeah, may have to edit that part out. But yeah, they activated only a 53-man roster, activating Aaron Rodgers off the IR just to be on the practice field. He's already said he's not playing the rest of the year. He's just out there just to practice. I don't really get that. But yeah, no, regular unit play. Jets -3 here. It's the obvious side is to take Washington +3. Bad noise, but out of with all this talk about Aaron Rodgers, it's just it never stops with the Jets. But I don't know. I could see Zach Wilson actually having a decent game against this secondary, and they just came off such an ugly performance against Miami. I don't know if you watched that game. I've never seen. Zach Wilson did get hurt in that game, so I'm not sure if he's cleared to play. I think that he is. I should have looked that up before, but whether it's him or Simeon, I think they have more talent on both sides of the ball. So I'll take the Jets -3 here, regular unit.
Feels like Ron Rivera's dead. Like he's done for probably, right?
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. All right. That's the snooze fest. Another one coming up. We got the Packers at the Panthers, the other half unit play of the week for me. I do not like this game either because it feels like the value is on the Panthers, and the Panthers are coming off a cover. Well, that's not a good sign because usually right after they cover, they always miss. And it feels like the Packers are the public side, but also the team that really needs to get right. So I could see them just smashing the Panthers. The Panthers have covered better at home, even though they've only covered 5 games this year or something. It's just, that's a half unit game. There's nothing that makes sense for me to like this one except just take the number with this ugly team and fade the Packers.
Yeah, you can get 5.5 on the Panthers side. I get it. Some books are still laying 4.5 if you're on the Packer side. It's a half unit. I'll take Green Bay on the road. It's ugly. I don't like it. I'll be looking all throughout the week to see if somehow I can get it down to at least 4. They win a 17-13 or 27-23 type of game, which I don't think the Panthers can put up that much points. But the way Green Bay's defense looked against Baker Mayfield last week, maybe.
Yeah.
I think the Packers got embarrassed last week, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They have a lot of money on that side of the ball, and I think they bounce back here on the road. It is make or break for them as well. They're sitting at 6-8 on the outside looking in of the NFC playoff picture, so absolute must win. And yeah, Panthers, they barely beat the Falcons. We say they always play good against Atlanta. That's why we were on them last week, but
yep,
they still done nothing offensively that made me think that they can, that they get over 20 points. And I think Jordan Love, against a better defense than the Bucs, still played well. So, yeah, give me Jordan Love. Still, he's got Aaron Jones. I think Christian Watson should play. Yeah, I'll put a half unit on Packers.
I like
it's not
it.
the sharp side, but I understand.
For your reasoning, though, yeah, it makes sense. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't, when have the Panthers covered 2 in a row? I don't think they have. So, that's what I'm saying. It's just a half unit game. Like, I feel like the number's too big, though, at the same time. That's why I hate it. All right, next up, we got the Browns at the Texans. Now, I bet this one, when it was Browns plus 2.5, it was going to be one of my better plays of the week, I thought. But then now it's, swung all the way to Houston as a dog again. We're playing the gamble with C.J. Stroud once again, it feels like. But yeah, the Browns they haven't done as well on the road. They're coming off a win. They kind of flip flop back and forth, and we know this team to be very good at home, but not so much on the road. And Houston, as home dogs, have been crushing it against the spread. So I'm just gonna stick with the trend. Like at this point where the numbers at, if it were Cleveland +1, I'd probably still take the Browns, but. Yeah, 2.5. It's just too much at this point for road favorite. And getting more of the bets a little bit. So, yeah, I'll take Texans right here. Fade the public, take the value. Texans +2.5. We'll do a unit and a half on it.
Yeah, they haven't ruled the Texans out. C.J. Stroud out completely, but the line is telling you that he's not going to play. I feel like if he was cleared to play, this could come down to. Browns are better than the Texans, so it could come down to a pick, or maybe Texans -1. So I think it is a good time to go ahead and grab the 2.5, kind of like last week.
Yep.
But I don't know what's going on with CJ. They're in the thick of it as far as the AFC playoff wild card spot, and we thought that there was a chance that he would play last week, but even Case Keenum won that game in Tennessee, and Tennessee always plays good at home too. So. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bait. At Browns +2.5, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take Texans to cover. No, I was like the opposite.
You would take Texans -2.5 at home, like
at home.
You
at home
liked
against
it.
Browns. Yeah, because it was like, okay, CJ's coming back. Browns been reeling a few off, but then now it's like Browns are favored on the road. It's just. I don't know. I feel like the Texans are a home public dog right now.
I don't think they are. Like let me look at a public source. I don't think they are. I think it was 60% on the Browns. Let me see. 63% on -2.5. It's not a huge public side.
Just for it to swing 5 points, it's gonna be one of those weird games. I don't know.
That's what we did last week.
I'm gonna take Texans +2.5. And I'm gonna put a regular unit on it, and I'm hope CJ somehow gets cleared to play. But
yeah,
watch CJ get cleared to play. The line not move as much as you think it does, in Cleveland covers. It's just gonna be some flaky stuff like that happens.
I think
it's like last week when CJ got completely ruled out. Then all the money came in on Titans. Texans went outright. Now CJ will get cleared to play. The money will come flowing in on Texans, especially if they're underdogs at home, and Browns will cover.
It's
a weird place to pick on a Wednesday. It's the weirdest game to pick on Wednesday.
What if? Yeah, I agree with that. What if Case Keenum just plays though, and it stays +2 and he covers? That's what I think happens. He's a. You're really playing.
They just don't have no weapons.
You're
man.
playing the
like,
Stroud gamble.
Dalton Schultz came back, but it's like they're going to try to run the ball, and they're not going to be able to.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, it's not a great. It's playing the gamble with Stroud for sure.
Like Titans was missing Simmons last week, and they were able to run the ball, and that's what kind of kept them in it. He threw a pick 6, and he made a few throws going down the stretch, but they got kind of lucky to win that game. I don't know. Browns definitely the much better team. I'm gonna ride Texans +2.5. I think I don't like this whole fishy going from +2.5 to favored by 2.5 by the Browns. I feel like Vegas is kind of baiting you in.
Well, we'll have to see. We're locked in for our picks, so we're taking Texans. All right.
I'm not betting as of right now though.
That's fine. We have to pick a side right now though. That's where we're at with the number. But all right, next up we got the sharp special of the week. We got the Colts at the Falcons. Everybody thinks the Falcons are pretty much dead. I feel like they look pretty dead, so I understand that. Taylor Heinicke he's going to remain the starter throughout the rest of the season as long as he don't get injured. Sharps bet this number early. I think it was like +2.5 at home, like before the results of the games last week were over. I would have liked it a whole lot more at that spot, but yeah, I don't know. The way this number is laid, it's just saying take the Falcons, don't be square, and that's what I'll do. I'll listen to the books. It's only a regular unit because the Falcons really do look dead, but they need this one bad. Arthur Smith might be on the hot seat as well. I don't know. This Falcons team has just looked pretty bad the last few games. But yeah, I think I have to do it and fade the public here. Take Falcons -1.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm taking Atlanta to bounce back, stay in this NFC South race. Seems like Arthur Smith is coaching for his job. Taylor Heineke, a little bit more of a game manager. This defense is pretty stout, and Gardner Minshew is nowhere near as good on the road. Kind of what I called last week against that Steelers, one of the few I got right that me and you disagreed on. So, yeah, I could see. I feel like the public's going to come flying in on this Colts +1, and Atlanta will take care of business. But like I said, the Colts are in the thick of it with Shane Steichen. I mean, he should be up for almost Coach of the Year, getting Gardner Minshew to if he gets Gardner Minshew to the playoffs. But yeah, no, I like it. Where you can still get it at 1, I'll take a regular unit on Atlanta.
Yep. All right, so on to the next one, last one in this 1 o'clock slate. We got the Seattle Seahawks visiting the Titans. Will Levis got rocked last week. He is likely not going to play. It looks like they'll probably give Willis a shot or Tannehill. Tannehill's second on the roster, but who knows? I mean, really haven't confirmed either way, I don't think, as of Wednesday. So, yeah, I think we take the Titans +2.5. Vrabel's been kind of underperforming this year, but as a home dog, he's still doing all right. So I think the public's going to come in heavy on the Seahawks after Monday Night Football as well. So we'll just play the bounce back and take Tennessee +2.5. That's the value side, I think, with the number. And I've just put a regular unit on it because we don't know if we're getting Malik Willis, and he's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, I'm doubling down Tennessee +2.5 at home. Seattle coming off a Monday night win against the Eagles on top of the world. Tennessee coming off a heartbreaker last couple seconds of overtime on a game they had in hand. Vrabel, I don't think he's necessarily on the hot seat, but I think a little bit of change at quarterback, one that he can control a little bit more than Will Levis. Helps his team out. I don't know the status of Simmons, the defensive tackle for the Titans. If he comes in, that would help a lot against Walker and what's the other running back's name? For
the Seahawks, Zach Charbonnet or whatever.
Yeah, Charbonnet sounds like a wine or something. But
Charbonnet, he'll truck stick. Hey, that truck stick he had again. God, what game was that? That was a beautiful truck stick. I don't know. It was early in the year.
But anyways, no, double unit. Everybody coming in on Seattle off an emotional win.
75%. 75%. Just looked at it. Yep, you're right. All right, that's it for the 1 o'clock slate. I think. Let me check. Yep. Tune into our late game video for the rest of the games. We only disagreed on like 2, I think, in this one. Aligned on the Thursday night pick. We haven't talked much about this week either, so we kind of feel the same way about this. A lot of favorites covered last week. We seem to be taking a lot of dogs right now, but let's see if that sticks and we continue the trend for the next video. Tune into the next one. Thanks for tuning in. As always, let's cover the spread. Peace.
Peace.